All right, man, we have to talk about it. We got to talk about what Pat Bev said regarding the 76ers. It's All-Star weekend. It's All-Star break. I'm relaxing, chilling, having a good time. Obviously, I'll be live for the All-Star game tonight. Come through to that. We'll have some fun. But until yesterday or the day before, whatever it was, when I was alerted about what Patrick Beverley had to say, I was good. But the disrespect will not be tolerated towards the 76ers. We'll talk about his comments, why Doc Rivers and the Bucks are frauds, and a couple other things as well. I want to give a shout out to our boy, our former Sixer, Mac McClung. Took home his second straight dunk contest championship last night. What do you think? Let me know down below. Was that one of the worst dunk contests ever? That's what people are telling me. I mean, the broadcasting crew was hating on Mac McClung, even though he secured the back-to-back. And even Joel Embiid, who, by the way, shout out to Joe. We miss you. Get healthy. He even tweeted last night, letting us know that he is alive and well. And here's what Joel Embiid had to say. I'm a professional hater, but I'm not hating when I say I could win the dunk contest with these scores, but not sure the knees would allow it. LMAO. So Joel is in Troel mode. He must be feeling a bit better. Glad to see. Hope he's all right mentally. But yeah, where does that dunk contest rank on your list? Shout out to Mac for getting it done. But we got Jaylen Brown out here making the finals with the weird left hand thing. And he's like closing his eyes and he missed the basket the first time by like 52 feet. But anyway, enough of the dunk contest. We'll get into what Bev said because he said, what? We'll talk about it. First off, I got to let you know that today's video is sponsored by Aura. Aura is a leading provider in digital safety and fraud protection. And I use Aura because they show me which data brokers are selling my info. And then they automatically submit opt-out requests for me so I can block these people or companies or whatever it is. I actually did a fun Google search for the hell of it on my own name or my company name, Philly Take. And the stuff that's out there, like the articles, things that people are saying out there, I didn't even know that this stuff existed, even in terms of my own personal stuff, health and family, things like that. All this information, even your address, is all out there, and companies like this use it to target you, and Aura helps reduce the amount of spam you get, and it also protects you from these hackers who can steal your information at any time to access your social media accounts, your bank accounts, and other sensitive information. I don't know about you. I'm tired of getting all these crazy emails, texts, and calls from these spammers and hackers at all hours of the day. It's like, leave me alone. And Aura provides you with features like antivirus, VPN, password management, parental controls, identity theft insurance, and more, all within one place at an affordable price. It's very easy to set up. So I value my privacy, and if you value yours, take the next step in protecting your online safety. You can get a 2-week free trial with my link down below. Go to aura.com/PhillyTake to get a 2-week free trial of all of their services. The link is down in the description. Let's go ahead and talk about the 76ers because Pat Bev right now is sounding like a salty ex. I got to tell you, Pat Bev right now is reminding me of the ex that gets dumped. And yes, they enjoyed the relationship. They love the partner, the ex-partner, and they're just frustrated, okay? Now, do I feel a bit for Bev? Absolutely, right? Nobody saw that trade coming. Nobody saw it happening. And, he was actually having one of the better years of his career. He really settled into Philadelphia, was, building somewhat of a culture, I guess you could say, and the fan base loved him. And I was a big fan of Bev. I still am, and I will follow the rest of his career. And, Sixer fans adored this guy, but, you get moved and now you're saying like certain things, you're throwing little jabs. And I listened to the entirety of the podcast and I could just see he's kind of hurt. You know what I mean? He didn't want to be moved, but he's taking it with a grain of salt and he's everything into consideration. He's just trying to find some positivity, but I still don't think that means you got to throw shade at the Sixers. But here's the clip that has been surfacing around, and I want you to drop your thoughts after listening in the comments. I'm going to go ahead and play it. Let me know what you think.
Bias on the phone, he's like, yo, what's the biggest difference? I'm like, everybody wants to win. Everybody wants to win. Everybody wants to win. It's not about stats. It's not about numbers here. It's not about who gets the ball. Everybody here wants to win.
So I'm reading, but
Bias on the phone, he's like,
all right, so a couple quick things here. Number one, You call Tobias Harris. Okay, that's number one. Number two, everybody wants to win. He's talking about Milwaukee, all right? That's a pretty odd thing to say, given that the Bucks are 3-7 under Doc Rivers, right? They've been scrambling all year to find an identity. We'll talk more about Doc Rivers and why the Bucks are frauds later. But overall, what do you mean it's all about winning and people don't care about stats? I know people are going to respond immediately, say, well, he's talking about, why Joel Embiid stat pads and tries to get these numbers. If I recall correctly, a couple months ago, Patrick Beverley on his own podcast was saying that Joel Embiid had the greatest regular season in history up to that point. And obviously, the Sixers were a top 3 seed all season when they were healthy. They were obviously focused on winning. Sure, you can say Joel shouldn't have been in later in some games, etc., but I don't think he's talking about Tyrese Maxey. He's definitely not talking about Tobias Harris. The only guy who could be talking about is Joel Embiid, and maybe people won't say it, but I will, right? Look, I appreciate Pat Bev, but you got to call a spade a spade. He is trying to diss Joel Embiid and the 76ers. Here's what he said just 2 months ago about the Sixers team as a whole.
We in a whole, silly wave right now. You feel me? Silly wave.
What do you mean silly?
It's what you appreciate when it comes to basketball and team. Like Magic a little bit. Everyone's playing their part to a T. We're in a zone right now. We all compliment each other's fun.
So a couple people actually DM'd me and they said, yeah, this is who Pat Bev is. He goes from team to team and, and you got to appreciate it. It's just part of his personality. He just jaws at whoever, he talks smack. All I'm saying is that to try to diss the Sixers, you could say you're frustrated that you got traded, which he did say on the podcast. But I mean, to kind of throw insight here that the Sixers really don't care about winning and they're just trying to help Joel and others get stats, I don't think that's fair. You were an integral part of this locker room. You were an integral part of this team. The fan base loved you. Don't start doing this. You know what I mean? And Patrick Beverley actually tweeted out himself and tried to, I guess, make up for, the backlash he was receiving as it pertains to his comments. But once you throw it out there, you know what I mean? It's already out there. We know how you feel deep down. Here's what he had put out yesterday. He says, please, casual fans, Philly is a big part of my success and the pod world. I could not and will not say anything bad about my time there. Thanks for everything, Philly. Will he still have love for Philly? Absolutely. Will Philly have love for him? Probably. But it's just not cool to try to throw that out there, especially when, a guy like Joel Embiid, he is taking his game to another level this season. Why? Because he is sharing the ball more. His assist numbers are up. His rebounds are up. He's getting better at other areas of the game and really just trying to buy into that team basketball preached by Nick Nurse. And Pat Bev said, pretty much called Daryl Morey a liar like James Harden did. And then he also said, it's on Nurse as well. He said Doc got his guy, a.k.a. Bev, and Nurse got his guy in Lowry. And Bev wants his revenge. Fine, I get it. He could be frustrated, but leave Joel and the Sixers out of this, all right? And if these teams see each other in the playoffs, I'm not so confident that the Bucks are some all-world contender compared to the Sixers. Now, again, got to see if Joel Embiid is playing or not, but the Bucks are not going to do anything in totality. Do you think the Bucks can actually make the finals? I've never seen a panic move like the Milwaukee Bucks made a couple weeks ago, and I've never seen a coach make more excuses than Doc Rivers, okay? Here is the comments that have come out in the last day or two from Doc and Giannis, and somehow Doc Rivers is coaching the All-Star game, which is still surprising. By the way, they're 3-7 in their first 10 games together, Doc and the Bucks. And here is what Giannis said. He said, it's my fourth coach in the span of 6 months. It is draining. So he kind of sounds defeated in general. Then you have Doc Rivers saying, it's been harder than I thought. Excuses on top of excuses. The Bucks have talent. They're going to be a good team. But they fired a rookie coach in the first year of his deal because they didn't see eye to eye because the philosophy wasn't the same between ownership and the coach. And they thought it was a good idea to bring Doc Rivers in. He was the all-time savior. I told you when it happened, the Bucks literally just shot themselves in the foot, and you're seeing it already. Matter of fact, Doc Rivers was talking more, and here's what he said about the Bucks' job. He wanted to wait for the All-Star break. Quote, taking a job when you're about to go on the toughest road trip of the season is not a smart decision. I even told him that, can we wait till the All-Star break? It would have been a lot nicer. He added the job has been probably more difficult than I thought. Dude, just suck it up and say you guys aren't playing well. I mean, that's all you have to say. Not once did I ever hear this guy come out after a Sixers game and say, I could have done more. Maybe it wasn't everybody's fault, but maybe I just could have prepared the team better. Maybe I could have put them in a better situation. He never came out once and said that. He told all the Philly media, everybody, that they were wrong about every situation. He acted like he was upper echelon and he couldn't be touched by anybody. And he just continues to do it from job to job to job. And I've already admitted before that I was wrong about Doc Rivers when the Clipper fans tried to tell me that this is how he is. But I just see it every time. And Buck fans will soon find out, if they haven't already, that this is who he is. The Bucks are not going to win anything. You can clip that, stamp it, whatever, because of Doc Rivers. Is he the worst coach in the world? No. Does he bring some basketball knowledge? Yes. But he is nowhere near one of the greatest coaches of all time, as people claim him to be. Just because you've coached 30 years doesn't mean that you are a good coach. That's all I have to really say. So, Pat Bev, you can enjoy your time with Milwaukee. And one thing that cracked me up when listening to that podcast was he kept saying, I finally get to compete for a championship. I actually get to go somewhere where I can compete. You may have had a better shot in Philly than you do in Milwaukee, because the Bucks are frauds. You have Dame Lillard, who is scared to run away from home for 10 years. You have Doc Rivers, who is one of the most overrated coaches, who continues to make excuses, and that kind of bleeds down onto the team. And then overall, you just, you're not going to get it done because the Celtics are that far ahead of everybody else right now. And, the Bucks aren't clicking, other teams are injured, etc. So we'll see how it plays out. Give me your thoughts down below. Appreciate everybody tuning in. Like, comment, subscribe. That being said, I will catch you all on the next one. Peace.